Hello and welcome to the final match of this round. Currently 2-2, so hoping to pull out a win here in order to get my entry fee back. Let's roll. It's been a little rougher of a night than last night. Last night I guess wasn't rough. I just had one particular matchup that had several misplays in it. Tonight has been more a lack of luck in pairings and top decks. I lost the die roll again with a 1 versus a 2. This is 1-0 drop away from a keepable and fun hand. But it desperately needs a land or another 0 drop. On the draw, game 1. So, say I get a land. We play Opal and Ornithopter and Drum. We tap that for that and tap that for that. So it dumps nearly all of our hand, but only if we get a land, of which I have 17. If I get another 0 drop, having to be an Ornithopter, an Memnite, or Welding Jar, then I think it's about the same. But we're not guaranteed that. We have, I think, slightly less than a 50% chance. How risky am I feeling? Oh, if it gets there so well. I'm going to try it. I have 2 draw steps. If this is a Thoughtseize, I am very much in trouble. Probably takes Opal, because that very much sets me off of doing anything with this hand. Well, anything explosive. But other considerations could be plating or Ravager. Maybe Scourge. With a turn 1 Thoughtseize like this, it's probably Grixis Death Shadow. Which means they probably want to get rid of something like plating. Or something like Opal to slow me down. Or Ornithopter. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, we did not get there. Here's to betting they have another Thoughtseize. Yeah, Ornithopter was actually pretty good because that's the only way that I explode quickly with the drums. Golly gee. They got a land. Well, they're doing a lot of my work for me, but I'm in no way, shape, or form able to take advantage of this. And they know my entire hand. Land. Alright. We are slightly more in business than we were before. We're going to be smart about this and play the drum. Ooh, counter? Nice. I sure can't. It probably would have just countered anything. Oh no, non-creature. Well, then they would have just killed the Scourge. So, I think I'm just not in a good spot here. So we'll just already start thinking about sideboarding, because that's the position we're in. I think I actually want another land here. Cool. Thanks, deck. Bets that they counter. And it's a hard counter now. So if I pay 2 life, I can cast Ravager or Plating. If I pay 2 life, that puts me at 12, which puts me dead to Tamir Battle Rage. Or not Tamir. Whatever, Battle Rage. But I think if I don't, then I'm just in a terrible position. Oof, like a turn sooner and we could have had this, which would have helped us so much more. Ooh. Of note, if I cast this, I don't have that blocker. Well, I really don't think I have much of a choice. Probably does something that kills Ravager here. Which means I let it go there to Volt Scourge. Not completely dead, but things don't look good. Opponent is putting a lot of thought into whether or not to kill Ravager, I assume. At 3 mana, they could have Kolaghan's Command. I don't know how often, probably not often, that they play that main board. Alright. Destroy target artifact and deal 2 damage to target creature or player. 2 damage to Ravager and destroy Opal. Alright, well, definitely eat the Opal. If I eat the drum, that takes away another mana source. If I eat the Citadel, it takes away another mana source. If I let this resolve, I get the 2 counters on Scourge. Drum's not going to be much use next turn anyway, unless I get a 2-drop. So, let's do it like this. This is probably falling into some sort of trap. Mm-hmm. I think I block here to try to survive through Battle Rage. Yes, please. Oh, opponent probably has removal of all sorts of varieties. Oh, man. Well, yeah. So we play the Nexus. Oh. I could play Plating and Equip, which puts me dead to any sort of removal spell. I could activate Nexus and attack, which puts me dead to any sort of removal spell. Or I could play Etched, which puts Etched dead to any sort of removal spell. Well, 2 removal spells, I guess. If I attack with Vault Scourge now, is it better or worse? What if I hang back? Could have Stubborn Denial. Could have a lot of things. Okay. If I attack, and for some reason he does not kill Scourge before it connects, I go up to 16, he goes down to 1. Shadow becomes a 12/12. Shadow kills me if he has Battle Rage right now anyway. If he doesn't have Battle Rage, I get that much closer to killing him. And that much farther from death. If he kills Scourge now, I kind of assume that he doesn't have a Battle Rage. So he was probably Fatal Pushing that turn no matter what. Well, from the rough start we had, I feel much better. I think I just don't block, no matter what here. Because if I block, I lose any hope of killing him next turn. Though, in all honesty, yep, he just has a kill spell. Which I don't think I played into anything, because I didn't quite have enough mana to do anything. Yeah. Okay, command. Kill a thing, discard. Yeah, having that Colligan's command was very, very good. And K command. I discard a card and deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Galvanic Blast doesn't even save me here. Etched is not enough. So we'll just go to the next one. Blood Moons. Masters, Etched, rest in peace. Thoughtseize is non-land. But it's a Courier's bad. Memnite's bad. What Flare, Garage, Bitter Blossom. Aether Grid? No. I'll go like this. I guess I probably should have mulliganed. But I was playing against the odds, and they were not in my favor. I did get the land turn 2, but opponent had too many answers. Bright side, now that we know, we can be a little better on when we mulligan. Suppose I could have looked at my notes for sideboarding. We're going to see if Moto is any good at doing that. If we see a Galvanic Blast, we know that Moto takes a secondary submission, but it's not the end of the world. Maybe opponent's going for a bathroom break or something. Because I'm not sure what they'd have to think so much about. They probably take out some of the hand hate and put in more of the kill spells. But at the very least, I am submitted. Yes, please. Let's go for a more aggressive hand. This one will do. So turn 1 Ravager. Or is it a turn 1 plating? Which one would I rather resolve? You know, I think the answer is plating. Because then Thoughtseize is Ravager. Next turn, I play a land, activate Nexus, equip, and swing. If they're not playing anything now, it means they probably have push or bolt. Which means I'm actually more inclined to getting this out now. can just activate Nexus. Or equip to Ornithopter. I think I'm going to equip to Ornithopter. Yes, I'll be doing some of their dirty work for them, but, you know, 6 damage in the air is still 6 damage in the air. I'm actually doing a lot of their dirty work for them. But top deck providing, it could be as little as a 3-turn clock. Less so if they keep doing that kind of stuff. Well, actually not less. They'd have to do a lot more to make it less than a 3-turn clock. And have no removal. Which, unlikely. Okay. This is where they fatal push. No. They are instead going to opt. Well. I must admit, my start was fairly aggressive, but I certainly didn't expect nothing that turn. Yeah. Because now this forces them to decide how they want to use their spells in hand. Any fetches they do are quite dangerous. Just for the sheer fact of getting me closer to lethal. It is still possible for me to attack with Inkmoth Nexus this turn, but I am closer to killing them with pure damage, and at this point I don't much care if they slam down a big shadow, except for blocking Ravager. They did nothing. Well, that would be because they have a lot of stuff. And not yet, but soon. Rejection at this point is fine. Well, now I understand why they haven't been killing anything. I'm tempted to take Dismember because it's what they can use right now, but it's very risky for them to use it. K-Command is pretty devastating. Static Caster I'm not terribly afraid of, having an Ornithopter and Ravager on the field. Dismember they can do now, which is bad. But if they dismember, they are either taking 3 damage to do so, or they are taking 4. Wow. This is tough. If I don't take Snap, they could dismember now and get Snap back next turn. Or if they draw land, they could Snap Dismember again. Then they'd be at 1, which is bad. I think I am more prone to take care of what they have now, because while I don't have lethal, I have pretty close to it. So, Dismember it is. Oh, so close. If only this was a Blink Moth. Interesting choice. It did get rid of a Rest in Peace, which would have been nice to have. However, if opponent does not draw land, opponent is fairly dead. Oh, and even then, I just totally shut them off from sacrificing, so yeah. Neat. I'm slow sometimes. Blood Moon's still good, Champ's still good. Rest in Peace, Blast. So it looks like it did take. Yeah, I'll send it back. Hope for another good hand. However, we must be aware that this time they have access to turn 1 Thoughtseize. Which is obviously very good. Oh dear. I just realized that I have laundry that I left in the public dryers. That's not going to be good. Apartment dryers, am I right? Okay, this has a Blood Moon that I can only access with Springleaf Drum. And then it has an Etched that will die. It's also relatively weak to a Thoughtseize. It's also not very fast. But do I have a better 6? This is at least something to work towards, whereas a 6 could just be crippling. I'm gonna try it. I'd rather have more cards than not. Alright, well, we avoided the turn 1 Thoughtseize, but definitely still not out of the waters. Are they going to counter this? Probably. If I'm playing that, they must think that it's my only source of colored mana, which it is. And it's an artifact that they can't kill quite as easily as they can creatures. Yep. Yeah, that was a good play. Means Blood Moon is now pretty desperate. And my hand has become significantly worse. Because now I have no acceleration. I'm going for the plating over the Scourge because I have reason to believe that he'll have removal for the Scourge. And I kind of want to make my opponent think that I have no way of... that I have no threats. And so he taps out next turn, and then I can land the champion, which will have Metalcraft, thanks to Darksteel Citadel. But it looks like it is going to be a bigger attrition gain than that, and I'm drawing manlands, which sucks. So I can either throw champion out there and hope he doesn't have a counterspell, or I can play and equip Blinkmoth Nexus and attack for 4. I really, really, really like the idea of getting Edge Champion down safely. Oh wait, I just played Blinkmoth. I could play and equip Inkmoth. If he kills it, that puts me off a land again. But I like that better than him countering. And again, this makes me look a little more desperate than I actually am. Yeah. Opponent wants to preserve life total, which makes me think Blood Moon's less good. Oh, yeah. Opponent must have all of the answers. So let's see. I could play the same game that I played last turn, which I am slowly losing the battle for. Or I play Champion, or I play Volt Scourge and Drum. Forcing my opponent to probably kill Volt Scourge or Drum. Yeah. Might have wanted to play Drum first. To bait out removal and stuff. Well, no, sorry. To avoid the removal issue, because then I could tap it for mana. Rather than, in this case, I'd have played Scourge and then Drum, and in response to Drum coming down, he could have killed Scourge. I suppose at this point, opponent is thinking very heavily about whether or not to kill Scourge. I'm going to stop passing. Probably just a... oh, yep, snap push. Can't say that anyone is surprised by that. It is a good move. Gets me off lifelink. Oof. But opponent has just more removal, more everything. Thoughtseize, which I cannot cast without doing some shenanigans with Blink Moth Nexus, and if I do shenanigans with Blink Moth Nexus, I'm not casting Champion. Also, a Scalding Tarn on the field. I'm not doing anything with... This is probably where opponent says, ceremonious rejection feels good. Yep. Not surprised. Yeah. I don't think there was much way of getting around that, though. If opponent does not... Okay. Opponent has 2 cards in hand. I'm at 14. Another cranial. Jeepers. Probably has removal. Is my attack lethal? If it's not lethal, then I maybe shouldn't attack. Playing Blood Moon neuters my own attacks, of course. You know what I really should have done is played Blood Moon, and then I could have played Champion this turn. Misplay. That's what you get for playing at 1 in the morning. And not thinking your turns through a little more, because he would have been totally off blue. Unless he fetched, which he could have. So, anyway, if I activate Blink Moth, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 artifacts. This is an attack for 5. Could be 6, 7. But that makes his swing back almost lethal. However, if I don't attack, I could Thoughtseize, which puts me to 12. And I could Cranioplating, which would, in theory, clear the way for a kill next turn. So I'm going to do that. Yeah. We'll get rid of that Battle Rage, thanks. if I play plating, he will just ceremoniously reject it. So I will do absolutely nothing. So we know opponent has rejection. If I block, I kill snap, take 3, which means I have 1 less mana and 1 less artifact for the crackback. If I take it, I go to 7. Yeah, it's probably better to just take it. Because if I kind of, yeah, but, ceremonious rejection is still up, which means X champion is no bueno. Which means if I was thinking Blood Moon. But Blood Moon still neuters me. Oh. Okay. Do you have a Thoughtseize now? If opponent has a Thoughtseize, they probably take Blood Moon. Go to 8. Oh, Tassiger. Yeah. Oh. My draws here are not the best. Ravager. Opponent ceremoniously rejects Ravager. Hands down. Which leaves me... Well, if I try to Blood Moon, I die. If I try to Ravager, he rejects, and I don't die, but I have to chump with a Nexus. If I try plating, he could reject. He has to reject? No, doesn't have to. I think I can bait out the rejection, which means I can play Ravager. Nope, sure can't. Darn. Smart opponent. Very, very smart. Yeah, if I'd gotten that Blood Moon out, this would be a very different game. Put 2 cards from your library into your grave, then return on land. On land. Well, you can have this shadow because I'm not getting any more alive. So opponent has ceremonious rejection and shadow. And 1 unknown. In order to Fatal Push, which wasn't going to be any different. Yep. Alright. Good game, opponent. Good game. You top decked like a boss. Any non-removal spell, and if I had gotten a mana source, you'd have been dead. So, well, that was disappointing, but I guess serves me right for keeping a bad hand. Well, a risky, super risky hand. That first game. Well, oh well. on to the next set next time. Thanks for watching.